Hey, bestie. Hey, boo thing. I am so glad that you are here. Okay, I'm coming begging. Okay, I'm coming begging because a friend in need is a friend indeed, right? Okay, so if you have not already taken care of these little tiny housekeeping things, I would love for you to do that now. All right, I need you to please subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. I hope that by the end of the episode, at least you will have liked the video, comment in the comment section, and last but certainly not least, would you please share this episode with someone that you know would enjoy it also. It's coming up in Hey, sunshine. Hey, family. Hey, friends. Hey, my loves, my boo and my besties. Hello to everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Life Unscripted podcast by Organized Energy. Hi, I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss Tiffany Williams. And if you'll notice, this second season of the show, I've really kind of cut out a lot of the extras. So you'll notice there's no intro and there's no outro and there's no all the other formalities that I had in the first season. I'm trying to just cut out things all over, not just with the show, but just in general. I want to make things simple. And so, pardon me if you are an avid podcast listener of other platforms and it's kind of a little extra fancy. I'm trying to go the minimal route in a lot of things. And this being one of them, just make it simple. Just trying to cut to the chase, make it real simple, real easy to get to. So that's my goal. And so that's why if you'll notice the difference between season 2 and season 1, there's no more intro and outro and all that extra stuff. I just want to share with you what's on my heart and let you go on to enjoy the rest of your day. Speaking of which, how is your day? How's your week been coming along? How have you been? How you feeling, family? I truly, truly, truly do care about that. And if you want to share with me what you have going on, share some wins so that I can celebrate with you. Share some ups, and even if you have a down or so that you want to have me, pray for you. I mean, whatever it is, reach out. Go to organizedenergy.co/podcast. organizedenergy.co/podcast. You'll find a spot where you can leave comments or whatever it may be. And just let me know how you're feeling. And if you have commentary after I talk about what we're going to talk about today, share that as well. If you have a testimony or shared experience or commentary, and let me know if you would like for me to share that with the rest of my community and audience. So I do like to highlight certain responses that I receive. So if there's something that you want to share that you don't mind that I re-share, let me know that too. All right, but let's move right along past that. First of all, I want to just thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. I thank God for another opportunity to be here. And I got to shout out my mama, y'all. Got to shout out the mama bear and the baby bears. Y'all know I have the 4 babies. They ain't babies, they're adults except for one, but you know what I mean. All of that. I just want to get all those things out, those special folk in my life. And for those who are just joining and maybe new to the show, I do want to introduce myself so that we are no longer strangers, because I am aiming to be your business and balance bestie. So if I'm going to be your business and balance bestie, I guess you better know a little something about who your bestie is, right? All right. So I have been in business for 18 years, and I'm excited about that. I've done a few things over the past 18 years, but been in business for myself in one industry or another over that span of time. The last 6 years, I have been the principal consultant, the founder, the CEO of organized energy coaching and consulting. And in there, I work towards helping small businesses get it together, whether it be with their strategy to how to plan or launch or operate effectively their small businesses. So I'm all about small business strategy. That's like my favorite. And in addition to that, what goes hand in hand with that is work-life balance, time management, especially as you run a small business. And even if you don't operate a small business, work-life balance is a major thing. And some people like to argue if there's such thing as work-life balance, work-life blending, whatever it is. We're just trying to be holistically well, right? We're just trying to do our best, whatever that might look like, because that looks different from person to person. But that's what I do. Business development, personal development, work-life balance, time management, that kind of thing. Okay. So I'm also a plant mama, and I'm not necessarily the best plant mama, y'all. Somebody need to come get some of these plant babies, because some of them they're not thriving, y'all. They're not thriving. They're barely surviving over here. But I am trying to be better at that as time goes on. So, and I think, and in addition to that, I'm a music lover with two left feet. Y'all know, I try to do my little two-step every once and again, but I don't know if I can compete with these new kids, and I don't know what type of moves they got these days. That ain't me, right? A song back in the day said, "Gangsters don't dance, they groove." That might be me right there. I can groove. I don't know about the dancing, but I can groove. I got a mean two-step, y'all. But anyway, again, I hope that you are well. I hope that you are well. I hope the sun is shining where you are. And if it's raining, I hope that you are enjoying that too, because I think even the rain is beautiful. If you don't have a smile today, I want to give you mine or share mine with you. You can't have it because I need it too, but you can use it with me. I'll share my smile with you. How about that? And now I want to just get to what I really jumped on here to get to. I will not be long in order to be strong. I just want to share this with you real quick because it was given to me. And I just want to in turn let this be the gift that keeps on giving. So I want to give it to you. You guys, I want to say this. So first of all, I used to be in a routine where, I had this thing, that I would, whatever the routine was for the day, it would always, kind of course, begin with getting up and making up the bed, straightening up the room, taking a shower, doing all the hygiene stuff, brush your teeth, wash your face, blah, blah, blah. Throw a load of laundry in, have a little breakfast, stretch, do a little yoga or whatever that's going to be. And then I would jump into journaling and spend time with God, reading my Bible, doing a little devotional type of thing, praying and writing out my prayers and all these other things that I would do just to kind of be in a nice little groove for the morning, a nice way to set the stage for an amazing day. And what some of you may or may not know is that I've been writing some books over the last several months, some books and some other things to go along with those books. And the project became more than what I thought it was going to be. And so I began to cut corners with my time because I'm like, just for today, I'm going to pass on the yoga. Just for today, I'm going to pass on taking that walk, that morning walk. I don't have time. I'm trying to get this project done. So just for today, I'll pass on reading my Bible. And next thing you know, over the last couple of months, I've kind of passed on a lot of things that I typically would incorporate into my day. And I have to admit that though I am, one that I love teaching others about work-life balance and work-life blending and time management, I gotta say that over the last couple of months, I've been kind of off kilter with that myself. So I admit to that. And I happily rushed into my days just working, trying to get these projects done, dealing with vendors and contractors and different people that were not coming through on their end of the bargain as it pertains to getting some of these things completed. And I just would just rush into days of frustration, honestly. And last week, you guys, I I was wrapping up my night, which had been a very long day into a long night. And I looked forward to just kind of setting up for the next day. So when I'm ending work in the evenings, I'll go ahead and write out my list of what I need to do for the following day. That kind of just helps me get my bearings straight so that when the next day comes, I kind of already have the framework or the outline of what it is that I need to be doing for the day. I still might tweak it that morning, but at least have an idea of what it is, where I left off at the night before and what I need to do for the day. So as I was wrapping up the day one day last week and I was preparing, or the night, it was a long day, long night. And I was preparing for the next day and, just straightening up my office space and all that. I felt like God was nudging me to let me know I needed to take a break and not work the next day, which happened to be a Sunday. It was going to be a Sunday. And I've already kind of been dealing with this with God as far as not working on Sundays, like just kind of taking a break. I'm not going to debate that with any of y'all about a Sunday or a Saturday or a Sabbath or not, or any of that. Just saying, I need, whatever the day of the week is, I need to not work 7 days a week. And over the last few months, I've gotten way off track with that. And so I was just kind of doing 7 days a week just to try to get it done, and sacrificing my day of rest. And I feel like God has, dealt with me on that, or kind of nudged me like, no, you need to rest. And so I kind of, I guess I felt like, okay, maybe I'll consider it. But as I was going to bed that night, I said, I haven't read my Bible in a while, but let me at least listen to something encouraging. So I listened to the Our Daily Bread. It's an app, and it's a inspirational Christian-based, biblically based devotional. And I listened to that as I was going to bed that night. And sure enough, it said, it was talking about resting and not doing. And that God is asking you to stop and spend time with Him. And so I thought, wow, the timing on this, because literally moments prior to me hearing it, I was really trying to figure out, okay, I feel like God is, kind of asking me to rest tomorrow. It's going to be Sunday and just to rest. And I really wasn't sure what I was going to do with that, because I really looked forward to working the next day. I had some things I wanted to do, some deadlines to meet, and I don't think I really wanted to take a rest, And so moments later, as I read this devotional, it's telling me God wants to take time with you, spend time with you. You need to take a rest, not do. And I thought, wow. How perfect of the timing to get this as confirmation. So for sure, I knew I needed to rest come that next day, which would have been Sunday. So the next day comes, last Sunday morning comes, and I'm laying in the bed, and it's early, and my eyes pop open, I'm ready to jump up and jump into the day of working. That's just kind of my mind. The first thing I think about is, okay, what can I get done for this project for the day? Again, totally off kilter with my work-life balance, work-life blending, completely. Total moment of transparency here. But my mind immediately was thinking, I got to get it to the finish line. I got to get this project done and out the door, which, by the way, I cannot wait to reveal to you guys. I've been working on something that's incredible, and I cannot wait to share it with you all. But anyway, side note there. So anyway, Sunday, the Sunday morning's here, and I'm laying in the bed, and I'm like, what am I going to do? I said I wouldn't work today. But what do I do if I'm not going to work? Like, that's what I know to do, is to work. So what do you do on a day off? Like, what would I do? How would I even spend my time on this Sunday? Like, doing what? I don't know what it feels like to just rest or to just relax, because I've been so thrown into working and happily doing so, trying to get these projects done, because I'm so excited to bring to you guys what I've been working on. My gosh. But anyway, so I laid in the bed, and I'm like, what am I going to do with this day? And I laid there, and I have to admit, I feel like I knew that I wasn't going to work, because I felt like that's what God was asking me to not do. But I was I don't want to say I was bothered by it, but I was doing it reluctantly. Like I was going to relax or rest, but I really wanted to be working, right? And so I remembered something that my daughter's dad said earlier in the week. And it came back to me. Oh my gosh, you guys. So my daughter is 7. My other kids are grown, young adults. But I've got a baby who is 7. So her dad's birthday was last week. And she wanted to give her dad a gift. And the gift was like, she had just gotten $100 from her grandma. And she wanted to spend $40 on a gift for her dad. I think she found something on Amazon for like $39. So basically $40. So almost half of her $100, right? 40, almost half. And I said, you can't spend that kind of money on your dad. I mean, it's almost half your money. And she's like, Mommy, but I really, really want to. I want my daddy to have this gift. And I said, no, you can't. Your daddy, no. You can do something. Your daddy knows your heart and you don't have to give that to him. It's half your money almost. So no. But Mommy, I really want to. I really want to give this to my dad. I want him to have this. I don't care about the money. I want my daddy to have this. And I understand that it's giving away almost half my money, but I still want my daddy to have this. And so I called him up. I snuck away one day last week, and I called him. I went outside because I didn't want her to hear our conversation. I thought it was so sweet of her. Like, that's just the heart that she has. Whatever it is she's got, she's going to ask you, do you want half of it or the whole thing? It's just the way she is. I mean, I don't care if it's a cookie. I don't care what it is. She's going to see to it that you get it before she even has it. And I just love her heart and her spirit. And anyway, so I went out, tiptoed outside, and I called her dad that particular day. And I said, man, your daughter really, really loves you. And he was like, why you say that? I said, man, she got $100 from her grandma, and she wants to spend almost half of it on you. She wants you to have a certain gift. And I said, but I told her she can't spend almost half her money on you. I know that you understand, and you wouldn't even expect that out of her anyway. She really, really wants to do this for your birthday. But I keep trying to explain to her that there's something else we can get you for your birthday that is more reasonable for a 7-year-old to buy. And he said, oh, she is so sweet. He said, she's just the sweetest thing. He said, but you know what? I said, what? He said, if she gave it to me, or if she spent that money on me, he said, all I'm going to do is turn around and give it right back. And I said, oh, he said, yes. He said, he said, if she gave it to me, I'd give it right back to her. So you guys, as I'm laying in the bed on this Sunday morning, that had taken place earlier in the week, okay, that conversation. So as I'm laying in the bed on this Sunday morning, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do with this rest? This day of rest. Like, okay, what do you do there? What do people do when they rest? Like, I've gotten so out of touch with that lately, and that's not me, but it's just been me in the last couple of months with this project I've got going on. So I was like, what do people do? So I'm laying here in the bed, and I'm kind of like torn about this thing. Like, I want to be obedient, but I also like, okay, what am I going to do today? Like, I'm just going to waste a whole day doing nothing, and a whole day doing nothing, I could be doing something. That's what I was thinking, you guys. I just got to be honest. And I laid there, and you know what came to my heart? What came to my memory was those words that my baby's dad said. It came to my heart as if it was coming from God. And it was, but if you give it to me, I'll give it right back. And you guys, that set my soul on fire. That just feeling that being whispered and deposited back into my spirit, coming back to my memory. But if you give it to me, I'll give it right back. You all, you don't even know the way I just felt like running. That was what I needed. And it just reminded me that I could trust God with anything, with everything, be it my money, be it my talent, be it my time, be it the day that I was sacrificing, trying to be obedient to Him. But He knew that that was a sacrifice for me. And I felt like He was saying, But if you're obedient and you give me this time, I will give it right back. I'll make it worth your while. And I don't know about you, and people have varying opinions about tithing, right? And some people are like, I don't believe in tithing. I don't trust what the church is going to do with the money, blah, 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 whatever your beliefs. I'm not here to debate that with you, whatever. But it's been my experience, I'm going to say for me, that I have been able to do so much more with the 90% that I keep after giving a 10% tithe or whatever, just given as an example. God has been able to stretch that little bit that's left further than I was able to handle the whole 100% had I not given it to him. You know, inevitably something goes wrong when I keep the whole 100 versus when I trust him with it and I give him back what's rightfully his and I've got a cut of it left. Oh gosh, how far he lets that cut go. And it reminds me of the Bible story when we talk about the widow and the sons who had the jars of oil. And she just, every time she had more jars of oil, the oil wouldn't run out. The oil didn't run out till her jars ran out. And she just had more and more and more and more and more oil. And, but she started off with nothing. But she went and her sons went and gathered the jar. And I don't have the scripture in front of me to reference it, to tell you where to go look up the story. But the point is, God will take your little bit or your nothing. And he can stretch that thing when you give it to him, what little bit you have, or you give your nothing to him in faith. And so with my time that he knew I was sacrificing, trying to be obedient, he's like, but if you give it to me, I'll give it back. Sure enough, the next day on Monday, my Mondays are typically packed with meeting after meeting after meeting. I just kind of load them up on Mondays. That's the day that I kind of meet with everyone to get everybody in order for what we're going to be doing for the week. And then, through the rest of the week, everybody knows their orders and we can all just move on accordingly, right? So I just try to make Mondays my meeting day with everybody. And sure enough, meetings were canceled one after the other. The meetings were canceled on Monday, that following day, to where I had that whole day for myself to redeem the time that I seemingly lost by not doing something on Sunday. And God has just continued to make ways and open doors and send blessings and calm some storms that had been occurring, and I feel like he just spoke to those storms. Peace be still with some of the things that I was dealing with. He just opened doors in ways over this past week with the projects that I've been working on and with other things I've been dealing with. And I give him glory for that. But what I want to tell you is I've gotten back to, since last Sunday, I said, okay, I get it. So I decided to sit on down and I decided to get back in my Bible each day. I've tried to. I think I have. I don't think I missed a day. I'm not sure. I don't think I've missed a day. Got back to my old way of doing that. And so, you guys, something that has been sticking out to me as I've been reading, and that's actually what I wanted to tell you. It took the long way to tell you that. And that is, I've been reading the book of Acts. And I've been reading this week chapter 12 and 13 and 14 and 15, and something keeps sticking out at me, you guys. And that's what I wanted to share. I said all the other things to get to this. So I've tried to get back on track as it pertains to reading my Bible and pray. Well, I pray each day anyway, but reading my Bible and taking notes and just trying to hear what God is saying to me. And I want to share something with you. In the book of Acts, in chapters, let's see here, chapters, was it 13? Oh, chapter 14, chapter 15, something has stuck out to me. And there's a phrase, and it says, so they put it in God's care. So they put him in God's care. So they put it in God's care. So they put them in God's care. I've seen the phrase a few times over the last couple of chapters. And I thought it was interesting. It stood out to me. It was a story about this and that and blah, blah, blah. Different scenarios were taking place. But what stood out to me was this particular phrase. So the church sent Paul and Barnabas, and they put them in God's care. So they did blah, 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 and they put him or it in God's care. And you guys, I came here to tell you this. Whatever you are dealing with today, whatever frustration, whatever vision, hope, goal, dream, prayer request, issue, relationship matter, financial matter, health matter, family matter, whatever matter. All I really wanted to say was that since I've been back in my word, this phrase has been sticking out to me. Put it in God's care. And I want you to write it down right now. If you don't have paper and pencil as you're listening, put it in your phone. Use the digital notes. But you guys, I want you to remember something. Say it with me. Say, put it. Say, I want you to say I. Say, I put. You fill in the blank. I put whatever it is in God's care. That's what I want you to do this week. Put it in God's care. That's what I want you to work on this week. Ask him to help you with that this week. Ask him to help you to put the things you're dealing with, worried about, frustrated about, in his care. And I want you to go over there and read for yourself. In the book of Acts, you can read chapter 15. I encourage you just to start with chapter 1. It's not all through there in chapter 1, but I'm just saying I really enjoy reading the book of Acts. So I encourage you to read the whole thing. Just start with chapter 1 and read a chapter each day. But where I'm referencing when they say they put it in God's care, you can go to Acts chapter 14 and it's in verses 23 and 26. You can go to Acts chapter 15 and it's in verse 40. And you can look for it in other places, but put it in God's care. That's really all I wanted to tell you today. And I want to, let me say this. Let me tell you why this is really big for me. And let me tell you why this means so much that God has let me see that in his word. It's because I've been writing books and I've created some courses and I've created some other products and services built on these things that I cannot wait to share with you guys. Oh my gosh. I know I'm the one that wrote them, so of course I'm going to say they're incredible, but they really are incredible. Like, I've let some people see some sneak peeks and everyone is like, my gosh, like, after reading this, you've convinced me to do blah, 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 whatever the books are about. Like, and I cannot wait to show you. But anyway, I want you to know something. Let me tell my quick testimony of why that phrase, put it in God's care, is so important to me. So I wasn't going to go through all this on today's episode, but I'm going to go ahead and share it anyway. Because now, while I'm talking about what I'm talking about, the reason why this has been so big for me is because I wrote some books almost a year, about 9 months ago. I wrote some books about 9 months ago. I sat on the books for about 3 months because I didn't know what to do with them next. And so I sat on and plus it was just overwhelming because I had never written books before to publish. So that too. So there was that also. So I wrote the books about 9 months ago, sat on them for about 3 months. And I was like, I don't know what to do next, right? And so I don't even want to think about what to do next because it just sounds like it's going to be a big deal. So I don't even know what to do. So I'm going to sit on it for a while. Let me think about this. So after about 3 months of sitting on the books that I wrote, I ended up taking the next steps, and some friends referred me to a graphic design company that could bring my books to life. You know, they were going to lay out the books, turn them into books. You know, I wrote them, but they were going to, do the graphic design, make the pages pretty, add graphics to it, blah, blah, blah. So the company promotes unlimited revisions, unlimited requests on graphic designs, same day turnaround, blah, 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 if you pay this particular price. So I paid the highest. They have like 3 packages you can purchase, 3 different ones you can choose from. And I chose the most expensive package so that I can get the works, right? And so I did not get what I paid for with this company. And so I waited and waited and waited and waited and waited. And my book wasn't really coming together. And neither were some of the other projects that I gave them. I won't say they weren't. It was, I shouldn't say it wasn't coming together. It wasn't what I envisioned. It could have been better. Let me say it that way. And so, but they offered unlimited revisions and unlimited requests, right? So I would send it back because I'm like, I'm not giving you guys, like my audience, anything less than what I feel like is my best representation of my best effort. So I would give it back to the graphic design company because they're like unlimited revisions. And and with me paying as much as I was paying for this top tier package, I was going to get my money's worth. So I said, no, so I wasn't mean about it by any means. I was like, it looks good, but could you do this, please? It looks good, but could you do that, please? Whatever. So it got to the point to where the company asked to have a meeting with me. And so I said, okay. And I kind of felt like I was being called into the principal's office. And so I was like, okay, hey, what's up? We're meeting because this doesn't seem normal. I don't think you all meet with your clients normally. So what's up? Yeah, about that. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, you have like way too many things in your queue. And honestly, your designer is getting it's giving her anxiety to see all the things that you are wanting her to design eventually. Like that's just frustrating her. That's giving her anxiety just seeing that all these things are waiting on her when she gets done with the first project. There's so many more to come. And I thought, well, I don't understand. I'm paying you for the top tier package and you advertise unlimited requests, unlimited revisions, same day turnarounds, which I'm not expecting this kind of project of this magnitude to be turned around the same day. But I don't understand, why is unlimited requests what you advertise? But then when I, put in several requests, you want to meet with me to tell me that I'm asking for too much. I mean, I don't get it. Is it unlimited or not? What am I paying for here? Yeah, I mean, and it is. It's just that when she sees that you have more things, it's just kind of giving her anxiety. And I'm thinking, well, I'm sorry that she's having anxiety, but does she know that she's working for a company that advertises unlimited graphic design requests? Because, I mean, that's kind of what I'm paying you for. If you only want to do one project, then don't advertise unlimited. It's kind of, I didn't say it that way, but that's basically what I was trying to say, So we get done with that and we go about our business, whatever. So down the road, weeks later, they say, can we meet with you again? And I'm like, now what are we meeting about? I was like, okay, sure, we can meet. So they're saying, you're communicating with us too much. Now, with this top package that I pay for, you have access to them, like to communicate with them so that, you can speak directly with your designer through messages on this app. So I'm paying for that, because there are packages that don't have that access, but they offer that as a perk or benefit to this package. So they're saying, well, you're messaging her too much. I message her once a day to just check in and just make sure everything's in order. And if she replied to me, and said, hey, at this point in your project, which one do you like, this or that? Then of course I will respond, go with this one or go with that one. Or can you make this bigger? Can you make this smaller? Can you make this red? Can you make this blue? Whatever it is, but that's what I was paying for. Right. And so they're like, but that's too much. Could you not message her so much? And I'm like, what? But you're charging me for this service. This is this is one of the perks of the package I pay for. So I'm like, so this is yet another thing that you offered that you really don't mean, that you really don't want people to take advantage of, right? You don't want them to take advantage of unlimited. And now you don't want them to really take advantage of this messaging feature, but you're charging for it. Okay. So then weeks go by, still no book finished and still no other projects that I had for them to finished. I'm paying all this money. A couple of months have gone by now and still nothing. And they say, can we meet with you? And I'm like, now come on. Again? Can you meet with me again? Okay, now what's the thing? Your revisions, like you just keep sending it back. Like there's so many revisions. That's frustrating our designer. And that's just giving her anxiety. So could you limit your revisions? And I'm thinking, I'm so confused right now. I am paying for the top package. You advertise unlimited revisions. And I'm not really abusing that, but I am asking for a couple of things to be right. And that's a problem. Okay. And so they're saying, well, yeah, but if you could just cut down on your revisions, because it's frustrating your designer. And in my mind, I'm thinking, why are we paying for unlimited this, unlimited that, if really unlimited this and unlimited that is a problem? And so I said, okay, so now what do I do? So they come back again, you guys, and they said, hey, we want you to meet with our top dog. We need you to meet with like this other person at this point. And the other person's like, hey, yeah, about your account. Not a good fit. We're killing the account like today, like right now, now, no more. We're just not a good fit. What you need is not what we really intended on providing through our service. And we're going to have to stop working on your everything. You guys, I think I had about another week or two to go on the book, and the book would have been ready to be published. It would have been done, being designed and ready to be published. And right before the finish line, they say, we ain't going to do this no more. We quit. And I literally was in tears. Like I was in tears because I couldn't figure out, what did I do wrong? I did what you asked of me. I paid you. I paid you on time. I was patient. I was kind. I was courteous. I was respectful. I used the things that I paid for, such as these perks, these revisions, or these communication channels, or the number of requests I did, because I paid for that. Like if you had a limit to these things, then that should be what they advertise. And I would have adhered to that. But where did I go wrong? What did I do? That was wrong. And they stopped working on my project. They were like, this isn't really what we do. This is not what our business model is set up to be. This is just not going to work for us. We're going to have to pull out of this project. And I cried, and I was like, but what about my project? My book is almost done, and y'all quit. Could you at least finish? Nothing got finished. And I was sad, you guys, and I couldn't understand what was happening. And I couldn't understand, like, what did I do? So I sat there, and kind of numb for a little while, probably a few weeks. And I just didn't know what to do. I didn't know who to call. I did not know another graphic designer. I did not know for this type of project. I just didn't know what to do. I had never written a book before, so I didn't know who else to reach out to. It was just a big stink, right? And I sat there for a few weeks on it. And so then I had a series of other contractors and people that were going to work on the projects. And they just did not come through. They didn't come through. They had excuses why they were going to be running late, why they couldn't really do it this time, but they can do it in another, like they might have promised one turnaround date, but they would say, it's going to be longer or later than that. Or I can do this, but I really can't do that part. Like I told you I could do that part, or whatever it was. It just wasn't going as smoothly as I had hoped. I did my part and I paid everyone. I paid what I was supposed to pay. And I just okay, I've made my requests. I've given my things to people, and I'm hoping that they are ready to roll. Like everything's good. But instead, people would fall through left and right. And over the last few months, that has just been very tiresome and frustrating for me. I'll just be very honest and very transparent. And so the reason why the message that I told you about, put it in God's care, matters is because people have been falling off like flies with the projects. Just not doing what they said they can do, or within the time frame they said they can do it, or with the skill level that they said they could do it in. And it's just been worrisome to me. And so last week when I began reading my devotionals again, or listening to them, God let me, when I started back up listening to my devotionals on the Our Daily Bread app, the story was about Gideon, and Gideon was having to go to battle. And basically, to make a long story short, that I welcome you to look up for yourself, but basically, I believe the children of Israel were going to be battling, I think it was the Midianites, if I'm not mistaken. You'll have to check that just to make sure, because I could be wrong, but I think it was the Midianites. But anyway, they started off with a large army, the children of Israel. They had a lot of people. And God said, I can't let you win like this, because if you win like this, you would brag against me. You would boast against me. Basically, in other words, saying it's too easy. It's so many of you all. You could win with all these men, and you would think you won in your own might, basically. This is too easy. You got too many fighters. So yeah, if you win, you would just be like, we did this. We did this for ourselves. You wouldn't give me the glory, basically. And so God told Gideon, you got too many people. We gotta narrow down your army. And so over a series of things happening, some ran away from the battle, some fell off one way or another for whichever way, and God thinned out the last of them. And God got the army down to an army of 300 men. And they were going to be fighting and battling against another nation that had thousands and thousands and thousands of fighters. And Gideon's looking like 300 men? 300. They went, God's people went from all like thousands and thousands down to 300. And basically, he fixed it so it looked like the odds were against them. They didn't have all that it looked like they would have needed to get this big job done, to win the battle. They were limited on resources, it looked like, because they were down to 300 men to fight. But God did that. God allowed that. He's the one that said you got too many, all the way till they got to 300. But guess what? 300 men went to battle against the nation. I think it was the Midianites. And they had, I don't know how many, like 10,000, 20,000, 25,000 men, whatever the number. Huge, right? And guess who won that battle? God's children, the children of God. They won the battle. But when they won the battle, 300 of them against this huge army, it was a miracle and nothing short of the work and hands of God. It was in his strength that they won, because the odds were against them. How could they, with limited resources, 300 men, win that battle? So you all, when I started listening to my devotional again, that was the first one that came. That was the first devotional that came to me last week. That's what I read, right? And I couldn't do nothing but thank God, because that's what it felt like. I started off with this and that and all these people and all the resources and a big team and blah, blah, blah. And it seems like this one fell off and that one fell off and this one walked away and this one said they can't do it and this one and blah, blah, blah. And I got all the way down to it looked like it was just me doing this thing. Morning, noon, and night. Entrepreneur hours. From sunup to sundown. Late nights, early mornings. It got down to me. Just me and the Lord. And I was weary. And so when he let me read that devotional, that passage of scripture, that story about how he is the one that let them get down so low, because he wanted to show that it was him that deserved the glory when they got that victory. Y'all, you don't even know how I could have took off running from that. You hear me? So that ain't all. So on last Sunday, bringing it back to this day of rest, on last Sunday, I said, okay, well, I ain't doing nothing. I'm a rest. So when it came time for us to tune into online worship service, we tuned into Transformation Church out in Tulsa, Oklahoma with Pastor Mike Todd. And I looked on YouTube to see what the day's sermon was going to be, and I couldn't find the sermon for the day. And I'm like, well, I know they didn't have church by now. Where's the video for today? I couldn't find it. So I told my baby, my 7-year-old, I said, well, I guess we're going to have to tune into children's church. Let's see what the children's church message is for today. So we tuned into Transformation Kids Children's Church service. Do y'all want to know what the lesson was? Do you want to know what the lesson was? The message was the same story. Came back to me again. God sent it again for my hearing. That was confirmation. And it was the same story about Gideon and these 300 men who won the battle against their opponent that had thousands and thousands, who, when it looked like the odds were against them, when it looked like this one and that one had ran away and fallen off and didn't come through and wasn't there to help fight, God gave them the victory. With the odds against them and limited resources, they won. And that was a children's lesson last week. That was my second time in a period of a few days getting that same message, same scripture, y'all. And I want you to know that that was an example of me having to put it in God's care. Put this book that I'm writing and the courses that I'm building and all the other things that I'm working on, put it in God's care, because He is going to let me win, and He is already deserving of the glory and the praise. Regardless, win or lose, He's still worthy, right? And so anyway, I just want to share that word with you today. Put it in God's care. Put it in God's care. Say it with me. Say, I'm going to put it in God's care. All right. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you with the love of the Lord. I love you. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And if you can relate, if you have a testimony, if you have a comment, if you have a question, whatever it is, if you want to just dialogue with me regarding this, something I said, if it hit you, if it missed you, whatever, go to my website again. It's organizedenergy.co/podcast. Leave your comments and do me a favor. Would you please stop by 3 places online, and follow me? That is, go to Apple Podcasts and look up the Life Unscripted podcast by Organized Energy. Because I think there's another Life Unscripted podcast, but mine is Life with the ... type of thing, like the semicolon, Life, semicolon, Unscripted podcast by Organized Energy. Go to Apple Podcasts and rate the podcast. And don't just rate it, but leave a review, please, would y'all? All right, that's number 1. Number 2, follow me on Clubhouse, and it's Organized Energy on Clubhouse. Go to Facebook. Look up Organized Energy Consulting, and please like my page and follow. Unfortunately, you have to do 2 steps right there with Facebook. Like and follow. So like and follow at Organized Energy Consulting on Facebook. All right. And then, of course, I'm on Instagram, Organized Energy as well. All right. I think that's all. I love you guys. Tune in next time for more. Have a wonderful, wonderful, and actually the best week ever. Bye-bye.
It is awesome to listen to my show, but wouldn't it be amazing if you could launch your very own? Go from listening to launching when you pick up my new book called Is This Thing On? The Super Simple Guide to Planning, Launching, and Scaling Your Podcast. And of course, it was written by a podcaster for new and aspiring podcasters. Building a brand and operating a business can get a little hectic sometimes. I mean, there's a million things to do and you only have 2 hands, but not to fret. I've got some goodies for you. I want you to visit organizedenergy.co/spill the tea.
organizedenergy.co/spill-the-tea. I have curated a list of some of the favorite tools and resources that I use as I operate my business that have been amazing for me. They have helped me to save time. They have helped me to build my team. They have helped me to stay connected with my people. And I absolutely love so many of these tools. I want to share them with you, and it's free to download. So again, go to organizedenergy.co/spill-the-tea so that I can help you get started working smarter and not harder.